The Boss DM-101 is the most powerful true analog delay ever. I'm pretty confident in that statement. This thing has 8 BBD chips inside of here, powering like 12 different fully analog modes. I'm going to share with you 5 things that I love about this pedal that make it so magical. However, I do think there is one quite simple basic thing missing from this pedal that I'll share with you at the end. But first, if you like this video and if you've seen any of the other videos that you like, please subscribe to the channel and drop a like as well. You'd be surprised by how much that helps me out with making more videos and getting seen by more people. So yeah, I'd really appreciate it. So the first thing to address with this pedal, and the first thing I love about this pedal, is the stereo mono debate. Now, a lot of the release marketing for this pedal described how great this pedal was in full stereo. But I am going to hazard a guess and say that maybe 80 to 90% of you guys watching this video play guitar in mono, at least most of the time. I myself pretty much only play mono. So is this pedal worth it if you're only ever going to play in mono? There's no denying that this pedal has amazing stereo spread and makes full use of a few different ping pong type modes in here, but somehow they still manage to sound huge even into 1 amp. And I think that is down to the nature of great analog delay anyway. Great analog delay allows you to set the mix quite high because it sits back from your guitar playing. Then it just provides this warm, more luscious bed of analog-y goodness underneath your playing. So yeah, I would say that this pedal is worth it if you're just gonna play in mono. Yes, you don't get the full spread of some of these more advanced modes on here, but they still sound absolutely cavernous. My next favourite thing about this pedal is that it does a pretty good imitation of the Space Echo thing. In the multi-head mode, it does a great take on a Space Echo. We have control over different playheads, just like a Space Echo, and it is such an awesome sound. But you can make it better with a little trick that I've discovered. If you put a Boss BP1W before this in the RE mode, it just adds to that Space Echo-y preamp sound. It's such a good combination with the BP1 and this in the multi-head mode. You get really close to a Space Echo. up, at number 3, I've got to talk about the modulation in this thing. And to be fair, it might actually be the best thing about the DM-101. We have control over mod depth and mod rate for every single mode in this pedal. And just adding a slight warble, a slight modulation to your sound, to your delay mode, is such a musical way of adding more movement to your tone. So much so that I've actually taken my modulation pedal off my board because this covers all the ground I need modulation wise. And of course, it's all fully analog. Number 4, I want to talk about some of the more ambient specific tones in this pedal. And we are not stuck for choice either. Usually with analog delay, it's used generally for more basic delays and slapbacks, but because this pedal has so much power under the hood, those 8 BBD chips have allowed Boss to manipulate analog delay in new and exciting ways to create more ambient tones. There's a non-linear reverse type delay, which is really cool to play with. There's like a simulation of a small space using micro reflections of analog delay, and then there is a more reverby type sound as well. A whole spectrum of analog ambience that just hasn't been heard before, and it's because this pedal is so powerful. My fifth and final thing that I love about the Boss DM1 and what makes it so magical is kind of at the core of what makes this pedal, and it's just because analog delay, when done right, is so magical. I was concerned before playing this pedal that all the control it gives you, all the power, would actually take away from what makes analog delay so great, which in my opinion are the imperfections, the crunchiness of it, the way it decays over time. But I'm happy to report that the DM-101 still remains true to what great analog delay sounds like. It's just as vibey as any old analog delay. In fact, probably my favourite mode in this pedal is the vintage mode, which is a replication of a DM2, just set as a simple slapback. I barely ever turn it off. In fact, that's kind of my sound, always having a little slapback on from the vintage mode in here. And that's another thing too, you don't have to go crazy with this pedal. Yes, you can take full advantage of all the chips inside of here, really experiment with the different modes, but at the same time, all the controls are on the face of this pedal. There's not too much in the way of submenus and hidden features. You can use this pedal really simply to get those classic analog delay sounds. really, really like this pedal. But it's time to get onto the one thing that I think is missing from it. Now, when I say it, some of you are going to probably switch off straight away, think I'm an idiot, think that it's no big deal, and that you'd never use that sound or function anyway. And that's totally fine. To be honest, I was probably in that camp as well before I put this pedal on my board, and then I realised how much I used that particular sound. Before I say it, a big thank you to Boss. I love you guys. Thank you for sending me the pedal, and I'm sorry that I'm about to point out something that I think's missing from your pedal. Okay, so as far as I can tell, this pedal has no hold function, no way of maxing out your repeats, so it oscillates indefinitely on the fly. Yes, maybe I could do that with an external expression pedal, but I just don't want to. I want to be able to do it on the fly, on the pedal. I want to be able to hold down the tap foot switch, for example, and just hear my repeats oscillate and go into crazy feedback. It's a sound I really, really like, and it's a sound that I've realised that I use quite a lot as well. It's also a sound that a lot of my other delays can do, a lot of my analog delays can do as well, and it's such a great way of manipulating analog delay, especially on the fly. Now, is it a big enough deal that the DM-101 won't live on my pedal board? Probably not. All the other things that I mentioned in this video make this the big daddy of analog delay. The creme de la creme. The top of the food chain, if you will. What do you guys think? Would you guys miss that hold function? Is that something you would use? Or am I a blithering idiot? Both may also be true.